Welcome, Dominica. This is the Kairi TV News and your presenter Vanessa Bruno. Here are the headlines. Unity within the constituency is top on the agenda for DLP's St. Joseph candidate. An unprecedented 19 independent candidates for the December 6th general elections. And a commitment to introduce electoral reform when the next government is formed. Stay tuned for details of these stories and more after the break.
Are you looking for that perfect setup for your conference, seminar, or company function? Or maybe you need a low-budget setup for your party, dinner, or private gathering. How about that professional production for your grand concert, festival, or outdoor event? Kairi Sounds is here to provide you with everything you need. PA system, stage, lighting, microphones, tents, LED digital screens, generators, projectors, crowd barriers, and more. We also offer free event consultation to ensure the success of your special event. Call us today at 612-4050 or 612-1265. Kairi Sounds, your partner in sound, stage, and lighting services.
Thank you for staying with us. Topping the news, togetherness in the constituency takes priority for DLP hopeful Darren Lloyd. During his launching on Sunday, Lloyd, who is contesting the St. Joseph seat on a DLP ticket, announced that unity within the constituency will be the driving force behind developing the area.
My aim as your representative is to firstly unite the St. Joseph people and develop the constituency. When I am elected as your parliamentary representative, come December 6th, I will work assiduously and tirelessly to ensure that your challenges are addressed. My goal as your next parliamentary representative is to focus on togetherness. I say this with the understanding that this will be a two-way street. It's not just about me, a parliamentary representative. It's about us, we as a people. My friends, if I fail, then we fail as a people. If I succeed, then we succeed as a people.
The 27-year-old also emphasized the need for continued educational advancements, especially among youth in the constituency.
The productivity of any nation is rooted firmly on an educated population and on a healthy population. We have seen, my friends, an increase in university graduates across our great nation. And I am an example of an individual, a young person who has received a university education, as I said, from prudent leadership and from working bilateral partnerships. We have seen the completion of numerous state-of-the-art smart primary schools, as well as the initial stage of the new Dominica Grammar School, which I had the privilege to teach. Dominica's economy is much more diverse, and with the drive for national reset, we in the St. Joseph constituency will play our part to equip our students with additional educational opportunities which are needed for our digital economy.
Lloyd will go up against 4 other candidates in the December 6th general elections. Still on the political scene, 45 candidates were duly nominated in the 21 constituencies in Dominica on Nomination Day, Friday, November 18, 2022, for the general elections on December 6, 2022. Here's Linda Martin with more.
In 6 constituencies, the sole candidate nominated has been declared duly elected. These candidates are Lakia Joseph for Paybush, Roosevelt Skerritt for Viekas, Roland Royer for Cottage, Darren Pinard for Colliho, Julian Defoe for Petit Savan, and Dr. Irving McIntyre for the Roseau Valley. All of these representatives are candidates of the Dominica Labour Party. The DLP will contest the remaining 15 seats on December 6. Of the remaining 15 seats, Team Unity Dominica will contest 5 seats, namely the Grand Bay, La Plaine, Marigot, Roseau Central and St. Joseph constituencies, while the other 19 candidates will contest independently. The United Workers' Party and Dominica Freedom Party boycotted this year's general elections until electoral reform is introduced. Elections will be held in 15 constituencies on December 6. Linda Martin for Kairi TV News.
In other news, Dominica joined the rest of the world on Sunday in observing World Children's Day 2022. Nathaniel Durand has that story.
The purpose of World Children's Day is to advocate, promote, and celebrate children's rights, translating into dialogues and actions that will build a better world for children. In an address to mark the occasion, Dr. Addis King, who held the portfolio for youth development and empowerment before Parliament was dissolved earlier this month, reiterated a commitment to eliminating child abuse in Dominica.
The protection of our children takes a united effort, and therefore we have to do all that we can to protect our children. I want to reassure you that the government of the Commonwealth of Dominica remains committed to the care and protection of children and request of you, the Dominican public, that you join the fight in eliminating all forms of child abuse in our society. The fight against child abuse cannot be done only by the government, and so it takes a collaborative effort from all sectors of society in stamping out this societal ill.
Child abuse can have significant and lasting effects, and the children may experience a range of emotional, psychological, and physical problems as a result of being harmed, including mental health disorders such as anxiety, attachment, post-traumatic stress and depression disorders, self-harming or suicidal thoughts, learning disorders including poor language and mental development, developmental delay, eating disorders, and physical illnesses. Dr. King says condoning child abuse is a major issue which should not be allowed to continue, and called on the Dominican public to join the fight against child abuse.
Children are expected to be loved, guided, and protected, and as a society, we should not fail them. We must remember that we all have an obligation to prevent violence against our children. Hiding, condoning, and enabling the abuse of our children is a serious problem, and it cannot be allowed to continue. I call upon you to examine your hearts and consciences and see whether what you are doing for your children is what God has called you to do. So on this day, I wish all children a happy Universal Children's Day, and remember, you are special, you are a promise, you are priority, and you are destined for greatness.
World Children's Day 2022 was celebrated under the theme Inclusion for Every Child. Nathaniel Durand, Kairi TV News.
You're watching the Kairi TV News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
Are you looking for that perfect setup for your conference, seminar, or company function? Or maybe you need a low-budget setup for your party, dinner, or private gathering? How about that professional production for your grand concert, festival, or outdoor event? Kairi Sounds is here to provide you with everything you need: PA system, stage, lighting, microphones, tents, LED digital screens, generators, projectors, crowd barriers, and more. We also offer free event consultation to ensure the success of your special event. Call us today at 612-4050 or 612-1265. Kairi Sounds, your partner in sound, stage, and lighting services.
Welcome back to the Kairi TV News. Leader of the Dominica Labour Party, Roosevelt Skerritt, has promised to introduce electoral reform when the next government is formed. During a rally to launch its St. Joseph candidate on Sunday, DLP leader Roosevelt Skerritt reiterated that electoral reform is something which the next elected government will pursue.
My government retained the preeminently highest legal luminary in the Caribbean to undertake the review of our systems, and that the review is underway. Whenever it is submitted, we shall share with the people of Dominica, and when all views are entertained, I shall lay the document on the floor of the Parliament. So I want to make it clear that this new Dominica Labour Party government, which you are about to re-elect, shall introduce recommended reforms as soon as such reforms are ready and have been inputted by all willing Dominicans, residents at home and abroad. We shall make the needed changes to the manner in which voting is done in Dominica.
On the issue of whether or not Dominicans living overseas should vote in the general elections, Mr. Skerritt says this is not a decision that he can take unilaterally.
They want Roosevelt Skerritt to unilaterally decide whether Dominicans living overseas should vote in Dominica or not. That is not a decision I am willing to make on my own. I have said I want to be advised on this. What I would say to you is that of two countries around us that attempted those same reforms in recent years, both of them returned a policy position of embracing those brothers and sisters residing elsewhere, but who continue to contribute to the social and economic development of their native land. My view is that Dominica is too small to cut itself off from the rest of the world. Philosophically, I believe that if a person works elsewhere but sends home money, provisions, and other enabling assistance to upkeep their family in Dominica, I, Roosevelt Skerritt, do not see why that person should be unilaterally removed from the voters list of Dominica. They have a right to vote in Dominica's elections, ladies and gentlemen.
And a member of the Pentecostal Assemblies of Dominica, Pastor Griffin Daniel, is calling on Dominicans to avoid blaming others for the effects of climate change. This, as residents in the East continue to grapple with the effects of damages that followed a recent weather system, which left several communities cut off from the rest of the island and interruptions to water and power supplies. Pastor Daniel says the effects of climate change are worldwide, therefore it is important to seek God at this time as a nation.
The times that we're living are sad times, and the world is changing, and is changing rapidly. And because of this, climate change is taking a tone not only in Dominica, but around the world. And it's not the time to play the blame game. Now is not the time to blame individuals or groups by saying they're the one who caused it. No, climate change is all around the world. And if you will observe, not only in Dominica things are happening, it's globally. So we ought to pray, we ought to seek God and ask God to help us as a nation.
Thus far, road access, pipe-borne water and electricity have been restored to the majority of the affected areas in the east. This is the Kairi TV News. Stay tuned for a recap of the headlines right after this.
Are you looking for that perfect setup for your conference, seminar, or company function? Or maybe you need a low-budget setup for your party, dinner, or private gathering? How about that professional production for your grand concert, festival, or outdoor event? Kairi Sounds is here to provide you with everything you need: PA system, stage, lighting, microphones, tents, LED digital screens, generators, projectors, crowd barriers, and more. We also offer free event consultation to ensure the success of your special event. Call us today at 612-4050 or 612-1265. Kairi Sounds, your partner in sound, stage, and lighting services.
To end the news, the headlines once again. Unity within the constituency is top on the agenda for DLP's St. Joseph candidate. An unprecedented 19 independent candidates for the December 6 general elections, and a commitment to introduce electoral reform when the next government is formed. Tune in to 107.9, 93.1, 91.1, and 88.7 FM to catch our radio newscasts at 6:30 a.m., 1 p.m., and 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday. Tune in to Flow Channel 953 Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. for TV news, with repeats at 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/KairiFM. Check us out on Instagram at KairiFM and follow us on Twitter at KairiFM Dominica. Feel free to visit our YouTube channel to catch up on any newscasts you may have missed. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Vanessa Bruno. Thank you for watching.